Aladdin's wish made the movie play out how it did. Wally is literally a representation of Satan. Tarzan was bullied because of his huge member. These are the theories I prepared for today. Full disclosure, these theories aren't mine. I found them on r/fantheories. The links for each of them will be in the description if you want to check them yourself. I had more theories prepared but decided to keep it short for now. Let me know if you want more, or you can check the subreddit directly. The entire movie of Aladdin was simply the fulfillment of his first wish. Something that always bothered and confused me about Disney's Aladdin was the ease at which he could suddenly not be a prince at several points in the movie, despite the fact that he had specifically wished to be a prince. If I wish for 3 arms, do I not have 3 arms? It was a thorn in my side. It was always a Disney classic in my heart. The other day I was watching the movie for the first time in many years, and the truth struck me like a thunderbolt. Aladdin did not wish to be a prince. He wished for the genie to make him a prince. Everything that transpired after Aladdin has made his first wish is simply the genie, using his omnipotent powers to pull the strings behind the scenes, fulfilling Aladdin's wish to be made into a prince. At the end of the movie, he marries a princess. He now is a prince. The genie's work is now completed. The dudes at Disney clearly had some Blade Runner level shit going on when they wrote the script. The genie states several times in the movie that his powers are both phenomenal and cosmic, virtually omnipotent, and only restricted by a few rules. He also states he can see at least 1 million years into the future, certainly at least to the invention of automobiles. Dressing Aladdin up, giving him an elephant and a parrot to make a fantastic entrance into Agrabah are simply means to an end. The reality is Aladdin doesn't even want to be a prince, he just wants Jasmine. When Genie's mission is about to succeed, Aladdin suddenly gets cold feet. The genie, seeing into the future, allows his lamp to be stolen by Jafar, and the hijinks that ensue are because he knows that Aladdin's heroic effort to set things right will convince the Sultan to change the law and thus let Aladdin marry Jasmine, and Aladdin will then become a prince. Aladdin doesn't even have a choice, he can't undo his wish. The wish was made and magical contract bound. What the genie is doing can easily be seen after Jafar is banished to the Cave of Wonders at the end of the movie. Everything goes back to the way it was. Everything Jafar did was undone, and people, objects and animals untransformed. The palace magically teleports from the mountain back to the city. Did it ever really move? Did someone magically wish for all these things to be undone? The genie knows his ultimate mission is nearing its conclusion, so he resets the sideshow. The purpose of which was to convince the Sultan Aladdin should be a prince and make Aladdin rise to his inevitable royal promotion, both in spirit and mind. The Sultan, clearly traumatized at crackers forcibly inserted into his mouth for hours on end, in some kind of pseudo-sexual prison nightmare, would happily make a homeless thief the next ruler in place of Jafar. It's an experience so disturbing he instantly rewrites the very laws his culture is founded upon. The genie needs to demonstrate that true worth lies within, a diamond in the rough. These lengths were necessary since mind control, murder and resurrection are the three things the genie can never do. The truth is, nobody's life was even in real danger. The genie has been using his mystic Machiavellian schemes since minute one to set Aladdin up as a prince. Jafar's wishes were meaningless. He was a pawn in a greater game. The second Aladdin made his first wish, Jafar was doomed. Jafar was in the genie's way. The genie is omniscient and used this rivalry to position Aladdin into princehood. After Jafar's part has been played out, the genie had no more use for him. Since the genie can't kill him, the genie did the next best thing and buried his sorry ass in a cave for 10,000 years. Think about the magnitude of that amount of time. It's a fate worse than death. The genie is an unstoppable engine of destruction on a mission to fulfill Aladdin's wish by any means necessary. We must also look at Aladdin's wish very carefully. He does not wish to be a prince. He wishes for the genie to make, by force if necessary, him a prince. Aladdin may actually be aware of what's really happening the whole movie. The first hint we have of this scene in the palace garden with the genie. Aladdin's basically asking the genie how to make Jasmine fall for him, and the genie's advice is, tell her the truth. What truth? That he's a street rat? But didn't he wish to be a prince? Is he not now a prince? If I were Aladdin, I would have thrown this in the genie's face, but Aladdin doesn't. Perhaps this is a sign that Aladdin, the clever little devil he is, knows what game is being played and that he is not a real prince yet. On many occasions, such as deceiving the genie into a free wish, tricking Jafar, etc., Aladdin proves his main attribute is his quick mind. When the immortal genie lays the sad news on Aladdin that he can't make someone fall in love with him, Aladdin's dexterous and cunning human brain works furiously to find a way around it. So he has a genius stroke. He wishes for the genie to make him a prince. The creation of a kingdom has not been wished for, only that Aladdin is made a prince. And what a coincidence. The closest kingdom's princess just happened to be Aladdin's dream girl. Aladdin knows what he really wants, as does the genie, and perhaps, as a reward for Aladdin's cleverness and out of geographic and language restrictions, the genie has no choice but to make Aladdin the Prince of Agrabah. Well played, Aladdin, well played. Edit 1. People seem to be really hung up on seeing into the future genie power. That's really not the point I'm trying to make. The genie could just as easily have implanted the whole action-adventure lamp-stealing nonsense into the minds of the main characters to bring about the ending. Thus, the castle magically reappearing, did it even move? The point I'm trying to make is that the genie was in control, plain and simple, and the ending proves it. Edit 2. In trying to see if other people had stumbled upon this, I ran into a lot of lame theories. That the genie had traveled back in time to make Aladdin's father the Prince of Thieves. This is all nonsense because they are based off direct-to-video sequels written long after the original movie. As far as I'm concerned, the journey of Aladdin and the genie in the story Disney wanted to tell, everything that transpired between Aladdin's first wish and the end of the movie was expertly orchestrated by the genie to make him into a prince, as he was commanded to do. I don't think the genie is evil. He's a fun-loving, free-spirited demigod. He is slightly insane, because anyone trapped alone in a cave for eons would be. He had a job to do, with the promise of freedom from an eternity of slavery as payment, no less. An alternative view of Wally. He's not the savior, he's the serpent. You know, in every analysis of Pixar's Wally, people look at him as a messianic figure, someone who sacrificed himself in order to save mankind and then comes back from the dead. However, there's an alternative character interpretation for Wally, and enough evidence to support it. He's not a Christ-like figure. Instead, he might have more in common with Satan, as depicted in Genesis. First of all, let's take a look at mankind in Wally's universe. At first sight, and judging by our own standards, they are not happy. However, almost all the issues that have plagued mankind don't exist anymore. There's no war, illness, hunger, hatred, or discrimination. Religion and politics are non-existent too. People live long, healthy lives where they have everything they need at their disposal. Generations have passed since they left Earth, which turned into a barren wasteland, and aside from the captain of the ship, no humans know that it even exists. Why would they look forward to returning to a place where they had to fight for survival when they have lived their whole lives being served by robots, in a comfortable, even boring existence? They basically live in paradise. Then comes Wally, a robot who gave Eve a seedling, which triggered the captain's desire to bring mankind back to Earth. In Genesis, the fruit that the serpent gave Eve was referred as a fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, and for the captain, the seedling was basically this. Prior to interacting with it, he went along by performing his required duties and ensuring mankind's survival in a paradise-like environment. However, after knowing of the existence of this seedling, he started research on Earth, which then turned into a deep desire to return it. He lost his innocence by gaining a new understanding of the world, just like Adam and Eve realized they were naked after eating the forbidden fruit. Do you see the parallelism here? We have an entity, Wally/Satan, who gives an object, seedling apple, to a robot/woman named Eve, which starts a chain of events that lead to mankind losing a paradise and getting stranded on Earth. By the end of the movie, we see that mankind had settled back on Earth and has returned to activities such as agriculture and fishing, something that brings a resemblance to Genesis 3:19. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you are taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. Mankind doesn't have a carefree existence anymore. Now they have to work in order to eat. And it shouldn't take too long before disparities will start to appear. Some will be able to have more possessions than others, which will spark a flame of hatred against humans. And then the cycle will start anew. It wouldn't be surprising if, generations later, the people in Wally's universe started telling tales of a time when they lived in a place of eternal bliss until a temper gave a woman named Eve a plant, which led to mankind's downfall. Tarzan. Why he wears a loincloth. This mainly applies to the Disney's version, since that's the version that comes to people's mind nowadays when they think of Tarzan, but this could technically apply to other adaptations as well. Many viewers have wondered how Tarzan knew to wear clothes. He was raised by gorillas, right? And gorillas don't wear clothes. They have their privates proudly exposed for the whole world to see. How did Tarzan know he needed to cover his junk? Well, a lot of people don't know this, but as this relatively safe for work chart shows, humans are actually unusual for having proportionally huge dicks compared to other ape species, possibly as an adaptation for walking upright. Seriously, a gorilla penis is only 2.5 inches in length when fully erect. If any of you guys are ashamed of your teeny weenies, just be thankful you are not a gorilla. Even as a child, Tarzan would have had a bigger penis than the other gorillas, and he was already freakishly enough with his lack of fur. Who knows how much bullying he faced from the other gorilla kids when they saw how big his kid wiener was compared to theirs. The bullying was so bad, he ended up having to cover up his junk with leaves or animal skin or whatever his loincloth is made of. Even after he became fully accepted by the rest of the gorilla clan, childhood bullying trauma prevents him from exposing his freakishly massive dick to the world. Hence why he continues to wear it at the end of the film and in the spin-off series. Yeah, the last one was for the fun of it. But let me know what you think of the other two. They are interesting at the very least. If you have something to add, just leave a comment. But that's all from me. Have a nice rest of the day.